All right. So first off, I just want to welcome everyone who's here today to our second event of Award Awareness Week. My name is Karen Gormley, and I work with the award, and I specifically kind of work with our program team, who works, with our account managers. We oversee the Virtual Award Center and our support center as well. We're really excited to continue this week of celebration, learning, and youth empowerment. For anyone who's new to the award, just so you know, it's a global framework for non-formal education that helps young people between the ages of 14 and 24 to discover their potential through service, skill development, physical activity, and adventure. Our mission is to help young people find their purpose, their passion, and their place in the world. And this week is all about sharing how the award comes to life across Canada. In today's session, called School Year Success Co-curricular Award Delivery, it's a peer learning conversation where award centers and schools can share how they built the award within their school or academic year, whether it's through curriculum-linked programs, whole grade participation models, or innovative delivery approaches that bring the framework to life for students. Before we do get started, I do want to invite first off our CEO, Mark Little, to speak about our new co-curricular approach and the value that teachers have in being our delivery partners.
Thanks, Karen. Hi, everyone. As Karen introduced me, my name's Mark. I'm the CEO, and it gives me my great pleasure actually to be here today. And I'm particularly looking forward to and interested to hear what Laura's going to be presenting. I know, I've seen her talk a few times, and it's always incredibly engaging. So thank you for that. For those of you that are watching either online, or I know many of you are going to be watching on YouTube later because you have very busy schedules, I just wanted to take the time to just appreciate what you as educators do. So whether you're a teacher, a superintendent, a director of education, what you do every day is truly remarkable. I mean that absolutely sincerely. Having my own mother being a teacher for 30 years herself in various roles, in fact my high school teacher as well. So your profession is and has always been very, very important, and could be argued even more, especially right now, in the light of what's going on in the difficult trade challenges that we're facing. So in the light of us needing more and more life skills, experiential learning, a focus on trades and careers guidance, this is the moment, and this is where we hope we can support you guys to be successful and appreciate everything you've done. You truly are the real heroes, and I want you to know that the award, we really believe that you are the lifeblood of what we do, and it is sincerely appreciated. So from us at the award, thank you to all the educators out there and joining us today and online. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you Laura Briscoe, who is our education consultant here with Award Canada. Laura has been leading our co-curricular approach work through the country, helping align education priorities, industry partners, and experiential learning opportunities that empower students and educators alike. Before joining the award here, Laura worked with the Thames Valley District School Board in Ontario as a coordinator, I have to read this right off here, as a coordinator for experiential learning and specialist high skills major programs, and later as a system coordinator of innovation and technology and global competencies facilitator. She's worked with hundreds of community partners, spearheaded ministry pilot projects, and published research on co-curricular learning strategies, community collaboration, and student well-being. She's amazing. She really is. Laura's leadership has been recognized nationally for bridging the gap between theory and practice and helping redefine the boundaries of education to improve student engagement and learning opportunities. We're so excited that Laura has joined our team, so please join me in welcoming her today.
Yay, thank you, Karen. And I echo the sentiment that the award team has been absolutely amazing, and just by the appreciation for educators and the work that educators are doing. Just grateful to be here and excited to share experiential strategies that are happening across the country with and for students because of the work that education is doing. So I'm going to share my screen here because I thought before I jumped into my why, I should really share what the award is. So then you have that in the back of your minds, the entire presentation for people that are new to learning about the award. Just going to jump in here. So the goal of, The goal of today's session is going to make sure that you understand what the award is, give you an update on what we have been doing across Canada, and then ways that we can integrate the award into public education, independent schools, and private schools across the country and outside organizations, and talk about how that co-curricular method is really enhancing and supporting students and teachers, give you some examples of the award in action, and then really open this up to become more informal, to be a conversation and a Q&A period, so we can support you with wherever you're at with the award at this stage. So what is the award? Something that makes it so special, especially for us teachers and educators, is that it is non-competitive, which means every single student that participates in the award has the opportunity to achieve the award. That means as a teacher, you can be using it within a classroom, and every student in your class is capable of achieving that experience with the award. It is youth-centric. It's really rooted in experiential learning. So part of my background has been partnerships with schools for students to learn through experience, and from those experiences, reflect on them. The award is meant to empower students to set goals and log those reflections. So they're not just doing things as a checkbox, but they're really reflecting on what that learning means to them in order for them to think about what their next steps might be. So we're really looking at those transferable skills, global competencies that students get when they participate in the award framework. But most exciting to me is that we are personalizing their educational experience, so they actually care about and see themselves in the curriculum and the courses that they're doing. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see what the award actually is. It is not a competition. As I said, it's non-competitive. It's very personalized, and what it is a framework. So that blue one to me really stands out, because everything that we do in education, we're doing it for a reason. If they're in a class, they're doing that class to learn a new skill. So whatever that skill is, that's an opportunity to integrate the curriculum to say, let's set a SMART goal. What is the goal or the learning outcomes that we have? How do you see yourself in this class or this outside school experience? So what skills do we want to learn while we're here? How can we take those skills and give back to society? So again, we're not just doing volunteer hours to put them on our resume with a checkbox, but we're really thinking about who we are in our local communities to make that positive contribution. And maybe that's taking something that they're passionate about with their skill and bringing that to the community, from a senior student mentoring a younger student, or something that a school might be putting on to bring the community in order to create awareness of social responsibility. And the physical recreation, I jump into this one because when you hear that, sometimes you think, okay, you have to be the top track athlete, but you don't. Whatever personalized goal, we're looking for people, young people, to set a goal to make sure that they're physically and mentally healthy. Now, that physical goal could be connected to something they want to do in the workplace. What do I need for myself to be successful in the future? It could be something if they're part of a team where they want to really dive into what they need to do to be stronger on that team. Or it could be something where they're going to walk every day and slowly increase the ability and the distance that they have to do. So that physical recreation is just drawing the importance of what it means to be in good health, both mentally and physically. Lastly, the adventurous journey. Don't let the word adventure to mislead you, because it's really about the experiences that you get in the spirit of an adventure, which means going out of your comfort zone with a group of peers, learning in an environment that you might not always be familiar with. So maybe not at home, but going out into the local community or into a further distance where you're collaborating with a group of peers with a common goal. On the left-hand side, you'll see some of the examples that we are going to jump into in this presentation today about how students are setting skills. They're improving their literacy, because the things that they are doing, they are writing them down and reflecting on them. So that's that literacy, making it very relevant. Everything that the award offers is rooted in research and student success. We know that students are successful when they see themselves and they're empowered and it's personalized. So that's that individual key piece right there. We want it to be achievable. So if they're setting a goal, we want something that realistically they're actually going to work toward to achieve. They can get their bronze because the award is progressive in one semester. So that means that as they pursue their goals over time, they're working towards their bronze. If they pursue their goal even longer, they can reach their silver and then eventually their gold. This right here in the guiding principles really is a good time for me to share my why. Coming from public education, trying to find ways to engage students that in many times were disengaged, or maybe they were an in-risk learner, to be excited about going to school because they're now writing about something that is meaningful to them. They are now setting goals and taking ownership of their learning and connecting it to the real world and where they want to be. We're building relationships for teachers to get to know their students better because now we actually have a tool for them to see what are your interests and what are your reflections from what we're doing. And so we're kind of creating that vehicle of communication to build those relationships as well. When I first learned about the award, I thought, all the students that I'm working with right now in trades are authentically already doing this because they're committing themselves to a sector over time, whether it be through co-op and then an apprenticeship and workplace. We also have students in business where they're coming up with an entrepreneurial idea and they just need some support in order to set their goals of where does that go and where does it take them. So finding ways for students to benefit from their school experience and see themselves in this. There's more on here that I'll just let you read on the screen that really kind of emphasizes why we're doing the award and how it's supporting teachers to meet outcomes. What's happened in this past year? It's been a very busy year, and actually on the call we have a representative from Greater Essex County District School Board who I'll introduce in just a minute when we get into those examples. But we've been working across the country. So in Newfoundland, we've partnered with the entire province, Newfoundland and Labrador, to create an opportunity for students and teachers to personalize their learning using the award. It was really interesting in Atlantic Canada because teachers could come forward through an expression of interest to say, I want to do this with my class. I want to make my curriculum more experiential. I want to partner with community, and I want students to be empowered to personalize what they want out of the subjects that we are teaching. So it was with great success and appreciation that Newfoundland jumped right in, Newfoundland and Labrador, as an education operating partner. In Ontario, there are school boards, 72 different school boards, and we partnered with them to look at if there's students that are pursuing a specialist high skills major diploma. That's where they're picking a specific sector where they're getting certifications in order to graduate. How do we honor that work that's happening and capture those reflections to give them this international accreditation? New in the top photo you'll see there, we just launched with Peel District School Board, one of the largest school boards in the country, and they're taking an approach of the schools themselves are becoming award centers and sharing with the teachers in their building through an expression of interest to see who would like to participate with the award. You'll see them holding their plaques there. That award center means that they have a following of students and teachers that are going to operate under their school board and then within their school center. We want to really empower and not micromanage within the award. That's the whole philosophy behind this partnership, that they are doing their level 1 training where the teachers now have professional judgment that we honor and respect with how they choose to deliver the award. Fanshawe College and Sheridan College have a federal grant that they are working on empowering women in Red Seal skilled trades, and we want to empower them too. What does this look like? How can we make the workplace, especially in trades, to be inclusive and support not only through empathy, but through resilience and create this community of women in Red Seal skilled trades through their award experience. Newly on also, we have British Columbia. We are exploring a route with career development and Indigenous education in BC with Surrey. And in Saskatchewan, we're exploring their digital learning center. So how all students in the province can have access to the award, but also looking at it from a guidance perspective. When students need a portfolio, because that is what we are in fact creating, how do we empower students to be able to share and tell their story and plan ahead for what they want their future to look like? So very exciting. And then on the bottom right there, His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, so Prince Edward actually came to Canada. You may have seen this in the news over Canada Day, visited Atlantic Canada and Ontario, and he is there presenting an education operating partnership to Newfoundland and Labrador with one of our amazing champions in this is Robin Breen. Now, not all teachers are going to feel a sense of readiness at the same capacity, and we want everyone to feel like this is a framework, which means it can be an entry point for wherever you are, and we can support you with this. So on the left-hand side, you'll see extracurricular. There are rock star educators that are volunteering their time to facilitate extracurricular opportunities. We know in FIRST Robotics, DECA, which is your business competitions, provincial skills competitions where students are pursuing a skill, and sometimes in many cases it's a trade over time to compete provincially and nationally. We have sports teams, arts teams, and clubs. We have the award being delivered as a club in itself to personalize students' goals and help support them in their personal journeys. So many things that are happening outside of curriculum, and we want to be flexible enough that we can honor that work that's happening. So that is an entry point where students could be pursuing what they're already doing, but using the award through their goal setting and reflection to achieve their bronze. Now, in order to bring that into more formal education, we are aligning the award with curriculum. So the award has been integrated into your everyday class as an assessment tool. So say, for example, a teacher in careers, the skill that those students are working on is career exploration. Now, career exploration can look different based on, I know Mark, who spoke, his career might have been different than mine in arts and geology and all these different things, but we could all be having a common goal or philosophy of career exploration. But how we achieve that might look very different from one another. And this is where we wanted to make sure that teachers know what we're doing with the co-curricular is meant to complement the things that you're trying to do and become a solution for any gaps that you're facing, specifically to differentiate and personalize education. We want to empower you with this tool to be able to do that. There are also specialized programs that might not be specific to curriculum, but they are supporting students in their educational journey. So in Newfoundland, we are working with deaf and hard of hearing programs. We have a student whose skill development goal is specifically working with their hearing aids. We have, as we mentioned in Ontario, students that are doing a specialized program, so certifications outside of the school. We are also honoring that. And multilingual language learners, honoring the whole student for who they are and empowering them to recognize their full potential with their goal setting. So in some cases, a student setting a goal on working on the English language, that could be their skill development, while bringing in culturally responsive pieces with that in what they're doing in the other parts of the framework. Special education has been really exciting to empower students on wherever their readiness is, along with their mentors. So working through the same framework, but with very different goals and being celebrated for those achievements. Another one is interdisciplinary. We know that many teachers, we believe that things don't happen in isolation. And when subjects are siloed, we don't always see those connections. So we are bringing multiple programs together. And in some cases, teachers are team teaching or they're connecting their curriculum across subject areas. And the award has been a way to bring those students' experience to really see those connections. So you'll see some examples on the bottom there from outdoor education programs in STEM. We have construction on the line here that we're going to talk about how they use the award with an English credit, aviation programs, and apprenticeships. Finally, community-based, we know that when students, we can't do what we don't see. And when we have connections with the community, we learn about future careers. So when we have partners who are coming in to support teachers and students in that exploration, that's something where we're really excited about the momentum of education evolving and going as well. So making sure that everyone has a place with the award. This is a tool for people that are new to the award or have been following it for the last 60 years in Canada, 130 countries. We have an online record book. So this has been created for you. All of the resources are ready-made so that you can just jump in and get started. So this comes as an app or a website where teachers have the back end where they can see almost like an online classroom, how their students are doing, how those students are reflecting, whereas students themselves have the forward-facing, user-friendly, where they set their goals and they reflect. So we are working to take curriculum and help align it under each part of our framework, empowering teachers as award leaders, which means they are the ones helping students set their SMART goals, acknowledging what those goals are and mentoring them along the way. And then our assessors who really are confirming the completion and the integrity of the activity that those goals did happen. In some cases, those assessors are also the teachers. In other cases, they might be somebody from the community that's working with those students. Here are some very great examples of the way that the award has been integrated across Canada, and really want to emphasize all pathways. So whether they're going to university, college, workplace, apprenticeship, all pathways are being celebrated for all learners in alignment with their curriculum. It's been really nice for teachers when they have multiple classes to be able to use this as an assessment tool, because it's a one-stop shop for a tool that you can use in all your subject areas. And then motivating students who might not be, sometimes they're not always doing something to get the top mark in the class, but they care about something when they get to put it on their resume. So we are putting in micro credentials for students to be able to put these things on their resume, such as a portfolio development certification. And for students that are looking to enhance their resume, they now have something recognized by us that they are working toward. I already kind of mentioned trades and alluded to how that development over time is really how you can move from bronze to silver to gold, and really honoring those students for the prestige that it takes to have that resiliency to continue with their goals in those trades. We also know that technology is changing. So we want to be able to keep up with what goals do we need next to evolve with technology. So some of those things with their SMART goals might be exploration and advancement in technology. I'm going to skip through some of these because I did speak to those examples, and I want to have enough time to actually dive into them in the Q&A if there are specific subject areas here. Here's an example right on our website of the different micro certifications. So for people that are in Ontario and Nova Scotia that have these programs built into the province where they need certifications in order to graduate with their specialized diplomas, these are fantastic examples. For provinces that don't have that built into their Ministry of Education, but they're looking to enhance their resumes, this really has boosted engagement for students that they want something on their resume before they go to a co-op placement or before they apply to a college or university, that people start to recognize as something affiliated with the Duke of Edinburgh International Award Canada. Now here is a video because it sounds best coming from a teacher. Paul is from the Greater Essex District County District School Board, right outside of Windsor and surrounding area. He is working inside the Carpenters Union as the English teacher. So I'll let you hear it from Paul.
Hello, my name is Paul Lonke. I teach English with the Enhanced Construction Program at the Greater Essex County District School Board. Recently, we've been having the students work on their Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Awards this semester and last, and I found that it has really helped the students to develop who they're meant to be. We've got them setting their own goals and working towards them. It's holding the students accountable for working towards their goals in a meaningful way each and every week. And for me as an English teacher, it's great because I can use their reflections and their log entries as a way of helping them develop their communication skills while giving them something relevant and meaningful to write about in their own lives. So I'm finding that this program is really good at working with the curriculum to help the students achieve.
And I think just to echo Paul there, and we're just so grateful for the work that this team is doing to lead an example with English and trades. When I visited that school, a student said right when we were launching the award, I was actually about to drop English, but if this is how we're doing English this year, then I'm not going to drop it. And this student did move on to achieve their bronze. So it was really just exciting for them to feel that this subject has been meaningful for them and their experience. This would not have been possible without system leaders who are jumping in to support the accessibility of the award in schools. And so today we have Justin St. Pierre on the line. Justin, I'd love to introduce you. Justin is working as a leader in his school board, but also many educators across the province lean on the innovation that Justin and his team are doing to bring real world experiences into schools. So I'll pass it over to Justin to introduce yourself. And if you could share a little bit about how you got started with the award in Greater Essex.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invitation today. Unfortunately, Paul Lonke, the star of the show, is teaching English right now, so we couldn't have him pop in. He's probably working on reflections and stuff with our students as we speak. But yeah, that was the first target group that we worked on within our board. So my role is I support the specialist high skill major program across 13 high schools across 12 different sectors. So As we first engaged with this program, we targeted the enhanced construction program for multiple reasons. As Mark said, we know that skilled trades people are in need across the country, across the world. So we do have a special partnership where we have students that attend a carpenter's training center with the Union Hall, but it's with our teachers. So we have construction teachers, we have English teachers, we have math teachers that go there and work with our students every day. And they're kind of bridged partway out to industry. This program worked really well because, as Laura mentioned, the goals that they're setting within these courses and within these programs are all about skill development, getting them ready, getting their resume built, and getting them ready to move on with the next step. In our program, we have students that sign on as apprentices. We have students that attend college or university for engineering type programs around, civil and design construction. And those are, a great way to get it started. And as Paul mentioned in the video, he's really using this as a pivotal program and framework within his English class to tie back all the wonderful things they're doing. Often, in my role, we do a bunch of exciting things with kids across all sectors, but the piece that was always missing is that reflection. Why and how is it meeting and helping me meet my goals for when I am completing my program? So all these students are working towards their normal high school diploma, but they're also doing all those additional things. So for example, this group for their community project, what they did was they worked with a local historic site that needed some work done on a deck. So these students planned that out, did the math behind it, got out and actually did the work that otherwise wouldn't have been able to been done at that site. And I know this summer they hosted their first events there where they brought community together to kind of share the excitement of being able to use this amazing space again. Some of the other sectors that we're working towards this year are the aviation and aerospace. We have a specialized program at one of our schools where students are working at various tasks within the aviation sector, anything from flight training in ground school to AMEs working on physically maintaining or doing work on aircrafts. So this program is again allowing them within their sector to set goals and another exciting thing that they can add to their resume. And the third group that we're targeting this year is our environmental SHSM. So these students are already volunteering to do tree planting within the community. They're working within their schools to make green spaces and being environmental stewards within their communities. So again, they're already setting goals within that sector, and that framework works well. Laura mentioned that adventurous journey, and just for our environmental group, since COVID, we really haven't done any tent camping within our board, and we do lots of different overnight adventures. But this group was our first group to kind of spearhead that and do all the planning around an overnight tent camping trip to the Piney Provincial Park, about 2 hours from our region, and they really enjoyed it. The teachers enjoyed it. The students saw value in it, and it really tied together all the things that they're doing as part of this award framework. The one thing I will mention is that just like any successful programs within the education sector, it takes champion teachers. So without these champion teachers working with the students and seeing value in this, and really back to Mark's point about needing more skilled trades workers, often within our education system, skilled trades workers and apprenticeships weren't really the forefront. And what we were able to do, especially with that enhanced construction program, we really showed off that this is a plan. Like this is something that they can do and something that they're going to be very successful in and have a lifelong career within the skilled trades. So giving them that one extra thing that typically wasn't, targeted towards people that are entering apprenticeships, really allowed them to feel pride. And at graduation, they got their pins and they were able to walk across the stage. And with that extra little piece, instead of typically at graduations, we hear about scholarship awards and different things like that. But this was just something that really tied back to that apprenticeship group. But again, we're looking to expand across all the different sectors. But the support of this team and the support of the champion teachers within our board is allowing us to reach more students and really let them set their goals and reach their potential. So that's all I have at this point, but I will stick around at the end. So if there are any questions that I can speak to, I will be glad to answer and kind of share what we're doing. And I'm able to share my contact information after, so that if anybody thinking about navigating this as a co-curricular approach, I'm willing to share kind of our best practices and connecting you with our champion teachers that are doing doing the work at the school level.
Thank you so much, Justin. And just to echo what you're sharing too about these amazing, incredible things that teachers are doing, we know that there's best practices happening across the country, and we want to be able to shine a light on them and inspire others. And everything that your programs are doing are definitely inspiring for all teachers, but also getting to witness the confidence that is built from all the students when they have that sense of pride and accomplishment in what they've done has been really rewarding for us as well. So thank you again. Here's another example coming from Newfoundland and Labrador in the Ministry of Education. So when they did this expression of interest, there were programs that were doing the award before, primarily outside of the educational day, maybe as an extracurricular or as a club. Their alternate curriculum or inclusive curriculum has really meant to be where are students at with their readiness? How can we expose them to new activities and opportunities and have those families and communities see their sense of achievement, and especially if they're not necessarily working toward a standardized diploma in the province, but they're on a personalized pathway. The award is something that we are offering to really champion the success that they've had. And so here's an example from Newfoundland. We are now also working in the same school with career students. So we're building community within the schools themselves when they're using the award, but maybe they're using it in different ways, but they're all working toward a common goal of achieving their bronze, their silver, and then their gold. Also with elective programs, many times students are choosing an elective because they're passionate about something of why they've selected that elective course. And we're learning that students are doing a lot of things outside of the school day as well that they can reflect on as part of their curriculum as well. So building that sense of awareness for the student to be able to share who they are and what they're interested in. Now, this is a lot of information, so we've broken it down into 5 easy steps for teachers that are saying, okay, I like this, but how do I actually do it? There's an asynchronous level 1 training that's recognized all around the world that we encourage teachers who have completed this to put this on their LinkedIn. It takes about an hour for them to really understand what the award is in order for them to have that professional judgment and make decisions in how they use the award. So step 1 is getting trained. Step 2 is we have an awards center under your education operating partnership model where the students actually register. Then they set their goals. And the idea is that they can't fast track this experience. They're dedicating time to whatever that experience might be in and outside of class in order for them to reflect. So they're starting their goals and they're reflecting on them, and all while being they're setting a collaborative goal with some other peers in order to go on an overnight experience for their bronze. And then, just as Justin said, we are working with bronze award ceremonies from graduation. In that case, we had students at the Carpenters Union where the Carpenters Union was part of presenting their pins. So making sure that they are getting celebrated for the process and the progress and not just the end destination. Finally, there's 2 more pieces that I wanted to share before we open this up to the Q&A. But the benefits of celebrating students for their personal achievement in their interest has been massive in increasing motivation. Fostering a sense of reflection. So again, getting away from, I have to do it for a good mark, or I have to do it to graduate, and making it more reflective in order for them to think about what that means for them to plan their future steps and bring this lifelong skill with them, and also making literacy relevant. So they are now communicating who they are and what their interests are, and all while building a portfolio that they can share their achievements with others in the future. We are empowering them to have a voice in those experiences and have that recognition of those skills that they have achieved in order to share their story or add it to their resumes for the future. And we are improving relationships because we really are getting to know each other in our goals and our reflections, and how many people actually have more similarities than they may realize when they actually share their goals with each other and their reflections. If you are at a district level or a senior level and you're trying to think about how to bring the award into your district or school board, these are the things that happen when you sign an EOP or an education operating partnership. We want to do the work for you. You have a dedicated account manager that will help you get this started. We have a consultant and myself to align it with curriculum. Support for your webpage, because we know that when you share your story, it inspires others. Greater Essex, that's something too that maybe Justin or somebody can drop their webpage in the chat as an example, but they've done a great job at sharing the story of those students. We are working with you to highlight this work from social media, award awareness weeks, and our blog and our website to highlight this work that's happening. Again, in over 130 countries around the world, there's a global youth network and alumni network that is looking for people who are passionate about pursuing their goals and want to support you. And of course, the online record book tool. So all of this is accessible in a user-friendly way to be able to set and reflect your goals. Finally, we are a charity, so it's important to say that we're always looking for support with grants and opportunities in order to give back and support our partners to scale. I'm going to stop sharing there so we can open it up to a Q&A, but my email is on the screen as well. So if you wanted to reach out to me personally, we also have an account manager, director of special projects, Vicky Bouteau. Her email is here, and fully bilingual for any of our French partners as well who are looking to become an EOP.
So Laura, recognizing that you've had a considerable amount of experience at speaking to educators all across the country, literally coast to coast, and there of course is a lot of history with the award. As you've approached them when discussing these education operating partnerships, what have been some of the perceived barriers or some of the concerns around getting started, and how have you addressed those concerns for them to be interested, recognizing that any barrier we can work with to overcome? So what have been some of those common things that you've seen?
I think one of the first challenges that I had was a non-understanding of what the award is. So in the spirit of Award Awareness Week, I think that there sometimes is people don't do what they don't know about. And so education on what the award is and breaking down the stigma of what the award could be seen as too prestigious or elitist in some sense, and how it's not, because it's non-competitive and meant for all students. So really deepening the understanding of the vision and the mission of the award framework and how it's meant to be supportive of all students in all pathways. That would be one barrier, to make sure that it doesn't get dismissed before it's even known. Another barrier could be, we know that teachers do so much every single day, and teacher burnout and educator capacity. Of how do you overcome that with people that are doing so much already, and repositioning the award as something that complements what they're already doing and enhancing what they're doing. So it's not seen as something extra, but something that can be integrated to celebrate not only the students' work, but also the teachers themselves. I would say we don't do that great of job of always celebrating teachers for the extra things that they do. Yeah. And something that I'm really proud of to be part of this award is getting to honor that work that those teachers are doing. And then for the idea, another barrier could be evolving and change. People are sometimes scared of doing things differently because that risk of the unknown. And so when we think about an education practice or a pedagogical practice and rethinking how we do something, that can be scary because it's more comfortable to do what you've always done. But when you see the classroom management and the excitement and the engagement of the students, we're now improving those outcomes because the students are excited about their learning. And so just being available to be able to support educators in that mindset shift as well. I don't know if I need to list off all the challenges, but
what about budgets? Does budgets come up very often?
Budget does come up when the award, as we had shared at the start, is a charity, but there is a participant fee. And so we've worked with provinces and districts in order to remove financial barriers, but also with our community partners to make sure that we don't have financial barriers to be accessible to all students. So that is something, when you hear a new initiative, one of the first questions is going to be, what is this going to cost us in a time when everyone is cutting back? So making sure that we remain accessible to be true to all of those students.
You've also identified, as an experienced person in the educational sector yourself, there are often ways of integrating into existing programs which can sometimes facilitate some of this.
Absolutely. And so we know that there are specialized programs, and I can see Justin on the call as one of them. There are certain specialized programs or experiential learning portfolios, or especially in apprenticeship pathways where there is funding that exists for students to have certain experiences. And we're trying to become one of those partners in that, where if they are having these experiences, how are we helping them with their portfolios, the skills to have a mentor, an assessor, and reflect? So we're also aligning with existing frameworks in order to complement what they're doing and help them to scale as well with their success and completion rates. I can see Michael Graham from Saskatchewan on the call, and Michael's been with the award since one of the beginning of the co-curricular initiative. I'm not sure if you had any questions or growth capacity that you were looking at when you were with Saskatchewan.
When I was with Saskatchewan, I was the biggest thing was what Laura was talking about, getting the word out, and actually it looks very big and daunting when you look at it at the surface. When I was a teacher and a principal in a school, that was my initial impression of it. And then as I dug in and got into more, I was in a central office role now, and I'm in another central office role somewhere else now. You can actually start seeing some ties as we were going through. So I was actually, as Laura was talking, going through my notes that I am bringing up with our senior team here, just kind of making those connections to those existing programs. And that's the best avenue in, is actually just to piggytail on and honor the work that's being done. It really aligns well and really focuses some of the thoughts that the students have to make when they are setting up their goals and stuff like that. It's a very easy step once you have the first few students that have gone through it. Everything else just starts rolling downhill a lot easier. That was my experience anyways.
So I think highlighting those programs, I call that the low-hanging fruit, the ones where
Yes.
there are amazing programs and we can enhance those programs and celebrate and acknowledge them, but use them to inspire other educators that are looking for experiential learning opportunities but may not know how or where to begin. And so that's where the award framework, we've been aligning also with new curriculum. So when new curriculum comes in and you say, okay, I have these expectations I need to teach, but I don't really know how, we're positioning the award to support those teachers in navigating new curriculum and put those outcomes within the actual framework as a solution to that navigation of the new curriculum. So that's all the new teachers out there going, hey, I want to do this. And sometimes, and I'm teaching a new course for the first time, whether it's new curriculum or a new time teaching a subject area, we enjoy working with you as well to shape how you can bring that curriculum to life. Gonna leave if there's any other questions, or Justin, maybe my question for you would be, when you bring the award to teachers that have never heard of it before, have you learned anything with how you share that with them?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've started slowly. Like the program that I support supports over 100 teachers and over 2,000 students. And we didn't want to, we did jump in with 2 feet to make sure that we were, trailblazers in this space in Ontario. But we're doing it also very carefully, because we want to make sure that these teachers that are the champion teachers in the school that are running these programs aren't added with another task. It's generally in education, it's the few that do all the work, right? Like there's champion and non-champion teachers. So we're targeting those champion teachers that are already doing it. And so when we're approaching new teams, I have a colleague who's fantastic, Trent DeRoche, and he will reach out to those teachers and work with them. He was one of the early adopters, especially for something like the online record book, where it's something new to navigate. We always know, there's always new student information systems and new, education communication tools we use with parents or internally. So it's just something else that they needed to wrap their head around. So what we did this year is we brought all the teachers together and allowed Paul Lonke, who was in the video, and Trent to kind of lead a session where they showed the teachers kind of what was involved. We got them all onboarded with the support of your team to make sure as they were approaching their students, they could wrap their head around kind of what it looked like. So we know that there is, opportunity to expand and reach more teachers, but we wanted to have those, because it's always better, as central staff, a lot of, us are in central staff positions. We don't want it to be another initiative that we're just pushing down. We want it to be kind of a pull effect. We want people to hear about the successes of other programs and ask, how do I get involved? And then it makes that transition a little bit easier. So the more teachers that we have that are doing the work at the schools, that will allow that to expand. So another area that wasn't on the slide that we're doing this year is with grade 12 leadership. So we have a teacher that organizes a camp in the spring for 10 of our 12 high schools, where we have students in grade 12 that kind of run and lead the sessions, but they also have grade 9s that are coming, which again, if eventually we'll get to a point where maybe we're getting them before they get to our specialized programs in grade 11. So having those teachers that other teachers within our school community respect and understand, have them lead those conversations rather than us kind of saying, here's something we're looking at, would you like to try it? So that's the approach we took. And we think by doing it slowly and carefully, we'll be able to reach more students and make sure that as many can engage. Because the one, we talked about a little bit of barriers and questions. So one of the things that we're always worried about, and within our programs, it's not a fee for service, right? Like we don't need to segregate students that can't pay and that can pay. So we're able to support that. Also with the Awards Canada team, we've applied for grants to make sure that no students get left out. And that's been very helpful, the different organizations that provide money for those adventurous journey costs, to make sure that it's really just students that are wanting to do it, not just students that can afford to do it. So that's the one thing that I really make sure within our programs that we're doing. Another barrier, just so that everyone else knows, sometimes with anything that's online is student information and privacy. So our IT department is very, I would say within our province, very, very strict. And I will say that the team at Awards Canada worked directly with the IT department to make sure that all the information that they needed, and it was a very quick process, which can sometimes be a barrier. So in this case, there has been precedent that public organizations that are so worried about student data, parent data, it was a very easy transition. Again, one of my early concerns was that, but again, the team was very supportive to making sure that wasn't a challenge. So.
Thank you so much, Justin. And your team has just approached the award in such a thoughtful way to be able to make it sustainable. So we really, again, appreciate your best practices and sharing that with them and building educator capacity, because we know that things grow when people believe in them, when they trust the people that they're working with and they have those relationships. So we really value that. And even just seeing how it's working in Greater Essex, as Justin said, they can bring something to somebody, but the teachers need to have a positive experience in order to inspire the other teachers who they work with. And so we're grateful for all those experiences, and it's super exciting. And as an educator myself, seeing teachers rejuvenated because they're getting to do these cool experiences alongside the students because the students are excited, and that's due to your team. And a shout out to Trent, because we know he'll appreciate all the work that he's done too to support making that happen. So that was nice of you to mention him as well. Yeah.
Well, I think just given the time, Laura, I think we might wrap up. So I do want to thank both yourself and Justin. Really, you shared some really great experiences of how you've been able to kind of pilot the award with your program in Greater Essex. So really, really want to thank you and thank everyone else who joined us today and for sharing your insights and experiences. It was just the contribution to some of the discussion was really, really good. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind everyone that it is Award Awareness Week this week. And so we are also showcasing our photo contest finalists on Instagram and Facebook. So we would love for you to do some public voting for us. And it's a wonderful way to celebrate youth achievement and the impact that the award does have across Canada. So we hope you'll follow along for the rest of the events that we have for Award Awareness Week this week. Cast your votes. Help us share any stories that you might have of young people who are truly discovering their potential through the award. And thank you for being here today, and we'll see you at our next event.